Shalom to the nation of Israel. This is Barazal coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to hope for push his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This lesson is going to be titled, you can say submission, but really you're going to briefly talk about what just happened with Kyrie, because he made a very major apology. So I typed in the word buck breaking, right? If you don't know what that word means. It's a lot different. I didn't even know there was a film. Okay, well, let's just use Wicked Dictionary, I believe that's how you pronounce it. This is buck breaking. The alleged, it's funny, they said the alleged. So they're saying that's what they say. They claim that this is the act that happened when X, Y, and Z happened. So they're trying to make it sound like it didn't happen, right? And I was looking down in more definitions, and that's a lot of the premises that they're trying to act like it didn't happen because there's no proof that it actually happened. So it says alleged act of publicly punishing a male slave, typically by first flogging him and subsequently sexually assaulting or raping him in front of other slaves in order to humiliate him. Right? So flogging, I don't know what that word means. Flogging. Flog. Okay, so let's go there. Slang, parents of schoolboy. Yeah. Oh, okay. So it says to check this word. So flagellum, long lash-like appendage, whip, scourge, to strike, shameful act, passionate deed, disgraceful thing. Okay, so yeah, they're whipping him right now. Well, they already did whip him. They're done with him. But those things that he had to do, like he had 5 or 6 things he had to, like a list that he had to do to get back in the right graces from the ASL. Right, sorry, ADL. Right, that was the form of them whipping him. Do buck breaking. Right? They whipped him, scourged, to strike. So they publicly whipped him. Right? They publicly shamed him. Right? They publicly disgraced him. They took things away from him in front of all the other athletes. Right? And then go back. Okay. Right? So we didn't go here. It says typically by first flogging him, which is what they did, and subsequently sexually assaulting him or raping him in front of other slaves. Now, we don't know what happened. Right? We know the first part happened, the flogging, the publicly shaming him, but we don't know what happened. You already know what these athletes and stuff, what they have to do to get to those levels, right? And you don't know if they threatened him with his kids. You have no idea. So most likely they did do this, right? Because these guys are the devils. These E-men, right? E-men, pale face. These vampires are the devils. And they're all about that type of stuff. Okay, so let's say... So I didn't see this one. Let's click this. So it's from a film. But it says about the buck breaking refers to the act of sexually abusing black slaves publicly and in front of other slaves in order to assert dominance. Who knows what they did? Who knows if they took him somewhere and brought other athletes that, just to set an example. Who knows, man? Because I'm going to show the video, just a very quick clip, and you can see his countenance is totally different now. In order to assert dominance, punish them, and ultimately emasculate black men, this is sometimes painted to be a closet gay slave owner's way of acting out their repressed sexual urges. Yeah, of course. Of course. Because all those Edomites I shouldn't have said that word, but all those Mr. E's, they're owls and moes, right? They're part of the LGBTQ plus, the alphabet gang. You know, they're all part of it, which were largely criminal at the time. That's funny. Oh, here we go. There is a debate as to whether or not bug breaking existed and how popular it was. Right, so they always have that I guess allegedly, you know, it didn't really happen. You see this? Look at this. This guy, bug breaking is a hoax. It was literally made up by black nationalists as a form of anti-white. Of course, it never happened. There are zero reputable sources for blah, 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 blah. See, because they always try to, and you know, and more things I read, and more they try to make it seem like they will say, oh, well, they didn't actually rape them. You know, they may have inserted things in them, but they won't. They'll try to pull away from the fact that these white slave owners were actually raping black men. So these white slave owners, they started all that owlism, you know, because they don't want to have it connected to them, right? Because they're the first owls. There's not one genuine historian, of course, right? It's not a coincidence. Every time you see a pedophile, 9 times out of 10, you know what color his skin is. So it's not a coincidence. Look at what it says. It says it is therefore ludicrous to believe white men, no matter how powerful, were raping their black male slaves either as punishment or otherwise. See, this is why this place has to go. Right? And yeah, so just wanted to bring that up. So we're at Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Right? And back then, I want to talk about back then, that was a unrighteous decree that they wrote on bug breaking. Because it was a thing. Regardless of what these people are trying to hide the truth and say it didn't happen. It did happen. Right? And right now, what they're doing with Kyrie, or what they did, sorry, right? Those are unrighteous decrees saying you have to do X. You have to do these 6 things, right? The 500,000, make a public apology, right? The donation, right? Those are unrighteous decrees, right? Because he posted a link to a video from what, 4 years ago, right? Now they claim him as to being like a hate monger, you know? And at the end of the day, that happened because they're the ones in power. So they're able to decree they're able to decree decrees, right? Whether righteous or unrighteous, but obviously they're going to be unrighteous because they're the wicked, right? And that right grievousness which they have prescribed, right? So that's what they did to him. And I'm just gonna, like I said, I want to show this quick clip. So Apostle Torah has it on his page. So I'm gonna fast forward. I just want to show the video of.
It was a learning journey, to be honest with you. It was a lot of
just look at his countenance.
Hurt that needed to be healed, a lot of conversations that needed to be had, and a lot of reflection.
Look at him.
And I got to.
You can see, like Apostle had titled the video, "Oh, they got him." You can see, man, he's been beaten. He's been put in under submission, under subjection. Right. So I was also looking into the word. Okay, there we go. The word submission says act of referring to a third party for judgment or decision. Okay, a lowering. So a lowering, letting down, sinking. Right? It says to let down, put down, lower, reduce, yield. So he doesn't look like he's been lowered.
Chance to do that.
His countenance doesn't look like it's been lowered, been put down.
From the Jewish community, from the Black community.
Back to when he was talking to Mita before, he was standing tall before. You know, he had a different type of energy with him. He was standing tall. He's like, no, I'm not apologizing. I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. I'm not doing that. Right? He was standing tall. Now he's sitting low.
I've had so many conversations with all of our races and cultures and religious groups of people, just trying to better find perspective on how we live a more harmonious life.
You can see it in his eyes.
I'm a man who stands for peace.
Right.
I don't condone any hate.
So they got to him, like Apostle Torah said. Right. So now we're going to Ecclesiastes. And this is why this place is wicked. You know, and at the end of the day, the Lord used him for that, because it's just for the men of the Lord to push the truth. But at the end of the day, right, if you're one of Yahweh Shem Yoshai's sheep, he's going to take care of you no matter what. No matter what situation you're in, he's going to take care of you. So Ecclesiastes 10:5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Right? So the ruler right now is Esau, Edom. Right? Or actually, well, Esau, Edom, in the top of Esau, Edom, you have the small hat community, the big nose community. Right? They're the rulers right now. So folly is set in great dignity. So foolishness is set in great dignity. And you want to look at the word dignity real quick. Dignity. State of being worthy. So which people are set in a state of being worthy? Well, we already know the answer to that. Right? It says dignity, privilege, honor. Right? Also says down here, as an elevated office. Okay? Which people have been set in great dignity. But it says folly is set in great dignity. So foolishness is set in great dignity. Okay? Because they're really fools. And the rich sit in a low place. And the rich are the Israelites. And more importantly, the elect. They sit in a low place. They're on the bottom. Right? So you see what happened, the countenance that he has now. He's been put back in a low place. Right? Now, the elect, spiritually, are not going to be in a low place because they have the truth. Maybe physically they will be. In society, sure, but not spiritually. Spiritually, they're alive. But the 2/3, they're spiritually dead and physically dead. Right? They're physically in a low place and spiritually in a low place. Okay. Verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses. Right? So you have servants upon horses. People that are supposed to be serving are upon horses. And a horse always refers to as power. So you have servants that have power. Right? And princes that are supposed to be royal people, because they come from a line. If they're a prince, that means there's a king, right? Right? They're supposed to be the worthy, the rich, walking as servants upon the earth. So you have princes walking as servants upon the earth, and that's what you have right now, right? You have the small hat community, right, walking as on horses, having power. Meanwhile, which they really are servants. And then you have the Israelites who are walking as slaves, Okay. Yeah, but you can see his countenance. He's low. He's like, he has been defeated. Now he's apologizing. He was calling the big nose community our brothers and sisters. I was like, oh boy. Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. So what he was trying to do, he was trying to escape that plantation that he was in. Right? For this is not your rest. But because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. So he was trying to escape that plantation. Right? But he didn't have the right directions. Right? Spiritually, he didn't have the right directions. Like he was saying some things are true spiritually. You know, it's talking about we're Hebrews, but he didn't have the full truth. Right? So because of that, he got lost and he got caught by the slave masters. Right? He got put back in subjection. And the only reason why that happened is because the Lord wanted it to happen. Because, you know, until proven otherwise, he's not one of Yahweh's sheep. Because if he's one of Yahweh's sheep, he would have taken care of him. Right? No matter what situation you're in, Yahushua is going to take care of you. But that didn't happen with him, unfortunately for him. Right? So Job 9:24, you know. And really it was just an example to show the Most High's power too, that he can take someone who is on that type of level in the world and make him bring out the truth. Well, somewhat of the truth. Right? Enough for these guys to get nervous. Right? Job 9:24. And at the end of the day, he'll come back in the kingdom, right? So he's still an Israelite. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So the wicked have the earth right now. So who is in the position of power on the earth right now? Right? When anything, because you know who's in position of power is when things get out of line, right? The rulers are going to put things back into the right place according to their rules, their decrees. So who put Kyrie back in check? Was it the Elamite community, the Indians? Was it the Chinese community? Right? I didn't see them put him in check. Was it the African community? Right? Like the South African community? No. Was it, who else? Was it even the like England? Was it them? Right? So they're even within their, even within the Esau's community, his nation, there's still levels of people that are on top. So you had the rulers of Esau. It was still part of Esau's rulership, but it wasn't the England part, the English part. So who was it? It was the big noses, the small hats. Right? So they are on the top of the top. They are the creme of the creme when it comes to the wicked of their nation. Right? The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. It doesn't mean that section of Esau, when it comes to England, Great Britain, are not part of the wicked. They're part of the wicked too. They have power too. They're just another section, right? Just like you have the 12 tribes. You have Judah, Benjamin, Levi, right? Judah's first. It's a top tribe. Then you have the other tribes that follow under, right? That's just the order. So you saw who the wicked are, right? All the people that are coming against it, and like I mentioned, the small hats, I'm just talking about them being the top, but you have the other people of the small hat bloodline, that are also part of the wicked. They're also in a position of power, right? Those are always the ones that are talking to Kyrie in these interviews and telling him, questioning him about what he's saying, about how wrong it is, right? You have some that look like that are Edomites, but they're not small hats, and they're saying what you're saying is anti the word, right? So it's part of the same group, right? They're all against him. They're the only ones that really came up against him. And then you have